Miss Winters? I said, stepping into the hospital room. She didn't look up. Her eyes were fixed on the white wall, her hands limp on the blanket. I'm Ethan Cole, your physical therapist. I don't need one, she said sharply. Her voice was cold but fragile underneath. You can't walk yet, I replied gently. That's what I'm here to help with. I said I don't need help. I took a breath. You were in a car accident. Your spine took a hit. If you want to walk again, we start today. Her eyes finally met mine, gray, fierce, wounded. And if I don't want to, then you'll never walk again. For a moment, silence filled the room. The machines beeped softly. She looked away. You don't understand, she muttered. I've already lost everything. Walking won't change that. I pulled a chair beside her bed. Maybe not. But staying in that bed means you'll lose yourself too. Her lip trembled before she caught herself. You sound like a motivational poster. Maybe, I said, smiling faintly. But it's true. She turned her head toward me again. You really think I can do it? I know you can. She studied me for a moment, her expression unreadable. Why do you care? Because I've seen what giving up looks like, I said quietly. And I don't want to see that in you. Her fingers twitched against the sheet. You talk like you've been there. I have, I admitted. Different reasons. Same emptiness, something in her eyes softened. What happened to you? Not important, I said quickly. You're my patient. Let's focus on you. I hate pity, she said. Good, I replied, because I don't pity you. I respect you for surviving. Her eyes widened slightly, as if she wasn't used to hearing that. Surviving isn't the same as living. True, I said. But it's the first step. She looked down at her legs, still motionless. And the second? Trying, I said. Even when it hurts. Her jaw tightened. You really don't give up, do you? Nope, part of the job. She exhaled, frustrated but curious. Fine, what do I have to do? First, we start with simple stretches. I'll guide you. She gave me a wary look. You'll touch my legs? Only if you're okay with it. She hesitated. Go ahead. I moved closer, carefully lifting her leg. She winced. Pain? It feels like needles, she hissed. That's good, I said softly. It means your nerves are waking up. She laughed bitterly. Waking up? They feel like they're dying. Sometimes healing feels that way, I said. But you'll get stronger. She stared at me. You sound too sure. I have to be, I replied. If I doubt you, you'll doubt yourself. She didn't respond, but her hand clenched around the blanket. What if I fail? Then we try again. She gave me a strange look. You really believe that, don't you? I do, she looked away. You're too kind for your own good, I smiled. Maybe, but kindness is cheaper than regret. That earned a small, unexpected laugh. It was short and sharp, but real. You're strange, Mr. Cole. I get that a lot. We spent the next hour working through the motions. Every stretch brought a grimace, every movement a quiet curse. But she didn't quit. When her arms trembled, I steadied her. When she snapped, I stayed silent. Finally, she whispered, I can't anymore. One more, I said softly. Just lift your heel, she tried. Her muscles shook. And then barely her foot moved an inch. I grinned. There it is, her breath caught. Did I? You did, I said. That's the first step, she blinked hard. It's nothing. It's everything, I said quietly. Her eyes shimmered, but she looked away. Don't make this a big deal. I won't, I said, though I knew it was. When I packed up my files, she broke the silence again. Why do you really do this? Because people forget how strong they are, I said. And I like reminding them. She studied me as if trying to find the lie in my words. You must be lonely, Mr. Cole. Sometimes, I admitted. But seeing someone fight back makes it worth it. She turned her face to the window. You don't even know me. Not yet, I said. Her lips curved faintly. Don't try to save me. I'm not, I replied. I'm just helping you remember who you were before the crash. She didn't answer, but her reflection in the window showed a flicker of something. Hope, maybe. As I left, she said softly, Ethan? Yeah? Thanks. For not giving up, I smiled. Anytime, Arya. I didn't know it then, but that was the first moment she began to walk, and the first step toward the heartbreak that would follow. Again, I said. Arya groaned, sweat clinging to her forehead. I can't, Ethan. My legs are done. You said that 10 minutes ago. She shot me a glare. Maybe because it's true? I folded my arms. Then prove it. Try again. She clenched her jaw. You're cruel. Only when I care, I said, crouching beside her wheelchair. Come on, one more lift. She took a shaky breath and pressed her palms on the bars. Her legs trembled. Nothing happened, see? She spat. Nothing, just nothing. I reached for her shoulder, but she slapped my hand away. Don't pity me. I wasn't, I said quietly. I was steadying you, her voice cracked. You don't get it. I was powerful once. People listened when I spoke. Now look at me, I can't even stand without help. You're standing, I said. Inside, at least. The rest will follow, she laughed bitterly. Do you ever stop saying things that sound like quotes? Not really, I said. It annoys people enough to keep them moving. That earned a small smile. You're impossible. I've been called worse. We worked for another hour, with silence stretching between her strained breaths. When she finally slumped back into the chair, she whispered, Why do you care so much whether I walk?
Because you do, I said simply. Her eyes flicked up to mine.
You think I care? I know you do. You wouldn't be this angry if you didn't, she looked away. You talk too much, and you listen too little. That made her chuckle, soft but real. Touché. When visiting hours ended, I lingered to check her progress logs. She watched me. Don't you have a life outside this place? Not much of one, I said. This job kind of becomes your world. That's sad, she said, leaning back. Not really. Helping people stand again reminds me I can too. Her expression softened. You talk like someone who's lost something. I have, I said. But that's not your problem, she tilted her head. You don't trust easily, do you? Neither do you, her lips curved faintly. Fair point. That night became the first of many. Some evenings we didn't talk about therapy at all. We talked about music, about books, about the strange hospital food that somehow always smelled like regret. Do you ever regret helping people? She asked once. Only when they give up. She nodded slowly. Then I guess you haven't regretted me yet. Not even close. She stared at me then, long and quiet. Something flickered in her eyes, something softer, warmer. I looked away first. The next morning, she was waiting early. Let's start, she said before I could speak. I smiled. You sure? Don't make me change my mind. We practiced again, hour after hour. She cursed, I encouraged. She cried once, and I pretended not to see. When she finally managed to hold her balance for 3 seconds, I clapped my hands. You did it! It's just 3 seconds, she panted. 3 seconds more than yesterday, I said. She laughed through the tears. You're unbelievable. You're the one standing, I said. I'm just the witness. Later that evening, as I packed my bag, she whispered, Ethan? Yeah? Do you ever get tired of carrying other people's pain? I paused, all the time. But it's lighter than my own. Her eyes lingered on me. You hide it well. Practice, I said. Now get some rest, she smiled faintly. Thank you. For not giving up on me. I nodded. That's my job. As I turned to leave, she called softly, You really are too kind for your own good. I didn't answer. I couldn't. The next day, she took her first true step. Her legs shook violently, her fingers gripping the rails like lifelines. I held my breath. Then she moved, just one step forward. She gasped. Did I? Yes, I said, grinning. You did. Her knees buckled, and I caught her before she fell. She clung to me, crying. I actually did it. You did, I whispered. You're walking, Arya. For a moment, she didn't speak. She just buried her face against my shoulder, trembling. I wanted to freeze time. I wanted to stay in that moment forever. When she finally pulled away, she said, I feel free. You earned it, I said. Every second of it. But the warmth didn't last long. That evening, a man in a dark suit appeared at her door. His eyes were cold, calculating. You're Ethan Cole? He asked. Yes, I said cautiously. I'm Mr. Winters, he said. Arya's father. He looked me up and down like I was dirt beneath his shoes. You've done your job well. But remember your place, Mr. Cole. My daughter doesn't need friends. She needs results. I wanted to speak, but the words froze in my throat. He left before I could respond. Arya looked at me with wide, guilty eyes. I forced a smile. Looks like our next session's going to be interesting. She didn't smile back, and for the first time, I felt a chill that had nothing to do with the hospital air. Slow down, Arya, I said, trying to match her pace as she took another bold step across the therapy room. I'm fine, she replied, breathless but smiling. I told you I'd beat your recovery schedule, I laughed. You're not supposed to compete with it. Then you shouldn't have challenged me. Her tone carried that spark again. Confidence. Life, something I hadn't seen in months. She straightened, wobbling slightly before catching her balance. Look at me. 2 months ago, I couldn't lift a finger. Now I'm walking across the room, I nodded, watching her in quiet awe. You're making everyone here look bad. Good, she said. About time someone noticed me for more than my wheelchair. She grinned, but behind it, I saw something else. Exhaustion. Fear. Arya, I said softly, you've been pushing yourself too hard lately. I have to, she whispered. My father's coming next week. He wants to see progress, I frowned. You're not doing this for him. I'm doing it so he'll let me go. Her words hit me harder than I expected. Go where? Anywhere but back to that world, she said. The board meetings, the cameras, the fake smiles. I can't breathe there, I hesitated. What do you want then? Her eyes met mine. I want something real. Something mine, I swallowed. Like what? She smiled faintly. Like you. The room went silent. My heart kicked in my chest. Arya, I mean it, she said. When I'm with you, I feel like a person again, not a project. I don't want to lose that. I looked away, trying to steady my thoughts. You're my patient. This, whatever this is, crosses a line. She stepped closer, close enough for me to smell her perfume. Soft and warm, nothing like the hospital air. Then erased the line. I laughed nervously. You make it sound simple. It is, she said, voice trembling now. You helped me stand. You saw me when no one else did. Don't tell me that meant nothing. It didn't mean nothing, I said, barely above a whisper. But it meant something I can't risk. She tilted her head. Because of your job? Because I don't want to ruin what's left of you. She stared at me for a long moment, then smiled sadly. You think I'm that fragile? No, I said. I think you're stronger than you know. That's why I can't be the reason you fall again. She took another step toward me. Then let me decide that. Her hand brushed mine. I froze. For a second, the world outside that room didn't exist. Just her eyes, her warmth, her quiet defiance. Arya. Ethan, she said softly. I don't want to go back there. Not without knowing what this could be. I didn't think. I just moved. My hand lifted to her face. She didn't pull away. Her breath caught, and before I could stop myself, I kissed her. It was slow, unsure but real. The kind of kiss that makes time hold its breath. When we finally parted, she whispered, So that's what hope feels like. I smiled. You shouldn't be standing right now. Then catch me if I fall. I did, just barely, when her legs gave out and she laughed through tears. For the first time, she wasn't the patient and I wasn't the therapist. We were just... Later that night, she sat by the window staring out at the city lights. Do you think people can start over? I think some people were never meant to stay broken, I said. She looked back at me and smiled. That small, unguarded smile I'd waited months to see. Then maybe I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow's a good day for it, I said. When I left her room, I felt light, foolishly, recklessly light. For once, everything felt possible. But the next morning, the nurse stopped me at the door. Mr. Cole? Room 407's been cleared, I blinked. What do you mean, cleared? She checked out early this morning, no notice. Her father arranged it. My heart dropped. I rushed inside. The bed was empty, sheets folded, the window open. The air felt colder, emptier. I went to Dr. Mason's office. Where is she? I demanded. He looked up from his papers. Her treatment's over, Ethan. She's gone home. She wouldn't just leave. He sighed. Her father made that decision. You should be grateful. It's above your pay grade. I clenched my fists. You knew, didn't you? He didn't answer. I walked out before I said something I'd regret. The hallway blurred. Her laughter still echoed in my head. That soft, fearless sound that made everything worth it. Now it was gone. I was just the therapist again, just the help. And the woman I'd taught to stand had just walked away from me. "Ethan, your 9 o'clock appointment's here," Claire called from the front desk. "Who is it?" I asked, flipping through patient charts. She smirked. "Some big shot CEO. Her assistant said she wants a corporate wellness program for her company." "Great," I muttered. "Another exec who'll cancel after 2 sessions." I walked out of my office, adjusting my sleeves, and froze. She was standing there. Aria Winters, perfect posture, designer suit. Cold, confident eyes. For a moment, everything stopped. The walls, the air, even my heartbeat. She turned toward me like it was just another day. "Mr. Cole, I assume?" Her voice hadn't changed. Smooth, calm, detached. "Yeah," I said, my throat tight. "That's me." She extended a hand. "Aria Winters, CEO of Winters Group. We're looking to partner with your clinic." I stared at her hand for a second too long before shaking it. "Of course. Nice to meet you," she smiled politely. "I hope we can build something productive." Build something productive. That was how she spoke to strangers. "Absolutely," I managed, forcing my voice steady. "Why don't we go to my office?" She nodded and followed. Her heels clicked softly across the floor, every sound reminding me that she could walk perfectly now. Inside, she sat across from me like a client, not a ghost from my past. "So," I said, pretending to read her proposal, "your company wants a stress management plan for your executives?" "Yes," she said. "Our work environment is demanding. I want to make sure my team stays in shape." "Of course," I said, my voice sharper than I intended. "You always did care about performance." Her eyes flickered just for a second. "Excuse me?" "Nothing," I muttered. She folded her hands on the table. "You seem familiar. Have we met before?" The words hit like a punch. I looked up slowly. "No," I said flatly. "I just have one of those faces." Her expression didn't change. "Right, I meet a lot of people." I smiled thinly. "I'm sure you do." Claire poked her head in. "Everything okay?" "Fine," I said quickly. Aria gave her a polished smile. "Your clinic has an excellent reputation. I expect professionalism." "Of course," I said. "You'll get that." When Claire left, I leaned back. "So what exactly do you need from me, Miss Winters?" Her gaze was steady. "A plan. I want weekly sessions for my executives. You'll report directly to me." "Directly to you?" "Yes, I like to stay involved." I couldn't help a bitter laugh. "That's new." Her eyes narrowed slightly. "Is there a problem, Mr. Cole?" "No," I said quickly. "No problem at all." She stood, smoothing her jacket. "Then we're done here for today. My assistant will finalize the contract." I rose too. "You're walking perfectly." She paused at the door. "Excuse me?" "Your recovery," I said. "You've done well." Her lips tightened. "I had excellent therapy." I forced a nod. "I remember." She hesitated just for a second before turning away. "Good day, Mr. Cole." When she left, the room felt smaller, emptier. Claire walked in a minute later. "You okay? You look like you saw a ghost." "Something like that," I said. "She's impressive," Claire said. "Everyone's talking about her downstairs. Apparently she built her company from scratch after her father retired." "Yeah," I muttered. "Impressive," Claire frowned. "Do you know her?" "I used to," I said quietly. "What happened?" "She forgot," I said. Claire studied me. "She didn't look like someone who forgets easily." "She remembers everything," I said. "Just not me." Later that afternoon, I found myself staring at the signed contract on my desk. Her handwriting was neat, elegant, exactly as I remembered. I traced her signature with my thumb. Aria Winters. The woman who once cried in my arms now ruled half the city. When I walked through the lobby, her assistant was waiting. "Mr. Cole, Miss Winters asked me to confirm your first meeting next week." "Sure," I said. "Tell her I'll be ready." The assistant smiled. "She said she was impressed by your professionalism." "Right," I said. She would be. That night I stayed late at the clinic. Everyone else had gone home. The hum of the lights was the only sound. I leaned back in my chair, staring at the ceiling. 3 years ago, I helped her walk. Now she was walking right over me, like I was never there. I laughed once, quietly to myself. "Nice to meet you, Mr. Cole," she said. And just like that, the woman I once saved had become the one who reminded me what losing felt like. "Miss Winters, your next session's ready," I said, forcing professionalism into my voice. Arya didn't look up from her phone. 10 more minutes. You've rescheduled twice this week, I said. Your muscles won't wait for your calendar. She sighed and stood, smoothing her blazer. You're still bossy. I'm still your therapist, I replied. Technically. Her lips curved faintly. Technically. We started the session in silence. She moved with precision, but I noticed it. The faint tremor in her right hand, the stiffness in her gait. Slow down, I said. You're compensating with your left leg. I'm fine. You're not. Her jaw clenched. You always assume something's wrong. Because there usually is, I said. Sit down. I don't take orders. Sit down, Arya. Her eyes flashed, but she obeyed. I knelt beside her, gently pressing her knee. The muscle tightened under my hand. Still hurts, I murmured. I said I'm fine, she snapped. You're shaking. I have a company to run. Ethan, not time for weakness. Funny, I said softly. That's exactly what you told yourself 3 years ago. Her head jerked up. Don't. Then stop pretending you're untouchable. She looked away. I have no reason to pretend. I leaned closer. Your hand's trembling. You've lost muscle tone. You haven't been taking care of yourself. Her voice cracked. You don't get to care anymore. Maybe not, I said. But I still notice. She stared at the floor for a long time before whispering, I thought forgetting you would make me strong. The words hit like a blow. I froze. What did you just say? She swallowed hard. My father said being with you would ruin everything. He said no CEO should be seen falling for her therapist. I stood abruptly. So you left. No goodbye, no explanation. Her eyes glistened. You think it was easy? He threatened to shut down the company. My mother's legacy. You chose power, I said. I chose survival, she shot back. You think you understand what it's like to have your life controlled by other people? I met her gaze. I understand being left behind. Her voice trembled. I couldn't call. I couldn't visit. He made sure of it. And when I could have reached out, she trailed off. I was too ashamed. The silence stretched between us. Then suddenly her knees buckled. Arya! I caught her before she hit the floor. Her weight slumped against me, trembling. Breathe, I said. Hey, look at me! I'm fine, she whispered, her face pale. No, you're not. Her hand gripped my arm. I didn't want you to see me weak again. You're human, not invincible. Tears slid down her cheeks. I built everything to forget this, to forget you. I held her steady. You really think I wanted to be forgotten? Her breath hitched. I thought if I erased you, I could move on. But you stayed. Every night. Every time I walked alone, I heard your voice pushing me forward. I swallowed hard. So why come back? She looked up, eyes shining. Because I couldn't stand not seeing you anymore. My heart twisted painfully. You don't get to say that now. Her tears fell faster. You think I wanted to hurt you? You did. I had no choice. There's always a choice, I said quietly. She looked at me, broken and fierce. So did you. That stopped me. I let go of her arm slowly. You made your choice, Arya. She wiped her face. And you made yours. You could have followed me. You didn't. I wasn't part of your world, I said. You were my world, she whispered. For a second, everything inside me screamed to believe her, but I stepped back. We're done for today, her voice softened. You still hate me? I wish I did, she smiled sadly. That's worse, isn't it? Yeah, I said. Much worse, she stood shakily, straightening her jacket. I'll see you next week, Mr. Cole. Arya, I said quietly. Take care of yourself. She paused at the door. You taught me how. Then she left, strong on the outside. But I could still see the limp she tried to hide. When the door closed, I let out a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. I should have felt anger, relief, closure. Instead, all I felt was the same ache I'd carried since the day she disappeared. And this time, no therapy in the world could fix it. The morning news hit like a punch. Therapist seduces CEO. Exclusive photos inside. My face. Arya's name. The world suddenly knew. Ethan! Claire burst into my office waving her phone. Tell me this isn't true. It's not, I muttered. But truth doesn't matter anymore. She frowned. Who would even... Daniel, I said. Her ex-fiancé. Claire blinked. The one from before the accident? Yeah, the one who disappeared when things got hard. She cursed softly. He's back? Oh, he's very back, I said bitterly. And apparently still jealous. The phone rang. Another client canceling. My third today, I rubbed my temples. This is killing the clinic, Claire sighed. You should talk to her. Maybe she can shut this down. I hesitated, then grabbed my jacket. I'll handle it. Arya's office gleamed like a fortress. Glass, marble, and silence. Her assistant looked nervous. She's in a meeting. She'll want to see me, I said, pushing past. Arya stood by the window, staring at the city below. Ethan, she said softly. You shouldn't be here. Really? I threw the tabloid onto her desk. Then maybe you can tell me why my name's being dragged through the dirt because of you. Her expression tightened. Daniel's behind this. I'm dealing with it. Dealing with it? I laughed. He called me a homewrecker, Arya. My patients are walking out. I said I'm handling it, she repeated, voice sharp. I stepped closer. No, you're hiding again. Just like before, her jaw clenched. You don't understand the pressure I'm under. Then make me understand, I said. Explain why you can't just tell the truth. Her voice dropped. Because my father warned me not to. He said if I confirm anything, the shareholders will panic. I stared at her. So I'm just collateral damage again? She looked away. It's not like that. It's exactly like that. I leaned on her desk. I stood by you when you couldn't even walk. I fought for you when no one else did. And now you can't even say my name out loud? Her eyes glistened. Ethan, please. No, I said. Don't please me. You let them control you again. Daniel, your father, everyone but you. She pressed a hand to her temple. You think I like this? You think I enjoy watching you get hurt? Then do something about it. Her silence was answer enough. I laughed bitterly. Right. You'll protect your empire, not the man who helped you build the courage to stand again. Her voice broke. Don't make me choose. You already did, I said quietly. She flinched. Ethan, I quit. The words tasted like poison, but I meant them. Her eyes widened. You can't just, I just did. I won't be your secret, your therapist, or your weakness anymore. She took a step forward. Please don't walk away. I'm not walking, I said. I'm finally free. When I left her office, she didn't follow. Back at the clinic, Claire waited, eyes red. You quit, didn't you? I nodded. It's over, she sat beside me. You really loved her. I still do, I admitted. That's the problem, Claire hesitated. Maybe she'll fix things, I gave a humorless smile. She won't, she never does. Silence filled the room. I reached into my drawer, pulling out a box, photos, letters, everything. Claire watched quietly. You don't have to. I do. I carried the box outside. The night air was cold. When I lit the match, the flame danced like memory itself, soft, dangerous, familiar. The first photo curled at the edges, Arya's smile fading into smoke. Claire stood behind me. Does it help? Not yet, I said. Maybe when it's all gone. She touched my arm gently. You deserve peace. Peace doesn't want me, I murmured, as the last picture burned. I felt something break loose inside, anger, grief, everything I'd been holding back. When the fire died, all that remained were ashes and silence. Claire whispered, Ethan. What will you do now? I don't know, I said honestly. Maybe wait for the phone to ring. You really think she'll call? I stared at the flames fading into the night. No, I whispered. But part of me still hopes she will. Claire sighed. You never stop hoping, do you? I managed a weak smile. That's what ruined me the first time. She didn't answer. She didn't have to. I turned back to the ashes. The smoke curling into the stars. The world had taken everything from me. My peace, my name, my love. But even then, deep down, I still waited for her voice, because no matter how much I burned, some fires never really die. The headline glared from every screen in the clinic. Winters Corporation under investigation. Fraud and bribery exposed. I froze, coffee halfway to my lips. Claire rushed in, phone in hand. Ethan, you need to see this. I've seen enough, I muttered. She turned the volume up. Logan Pierce's voice filled the room. New evidence reveals that Daniel Hartman and business tycoon Richard Winters have been embezzling company funds for years. Claire's eyes widened. That's her father. And her ex, I said quietly. The screen showed Arya leaving a courthouse, her flashes, cameras, chaos. Her perfect mask cracked. She looked human again, Claire exhaled. Guess karma finally showed up? I said nothing. My throat burned. She's paying her price, Ethan, Claire said softly. You should feel vindicated. Yeah, I said, staring at the screen. I should, but I didn't. By evening, the rain started. I told myself I wouldn't go, but my feet didn't listen. When I reached her office, the glass doors were half open. Security guards were gone. The company logo behind reception had already been stripped away. I knocked once. No answer. I stepped inside. Her voice came faintly. You shouldn't be here. She sat behind her desk, head bowed, mascara streaked down her cheeks. The woman who once ruled boardrooms now looked smaller than I'd ever seen her. I saw the news, I said quietly. Her laugh was hollow. Everyone did. I had to see for myself. Why? She asked without looking up. To watch me fall? I hesitated. To make sure you were still standing. She wiped her eyes with a shaking hand. I'm not. Not anymore. Silence filled the room. Papers were scattered everywhere. Her father's name stamped across them all. He's gone, she whispered. Fled the country last night. Daniel too, and you? I asked. I stayed, she said bitterly. Like an idiot. Like someone with a conscience, I said. Her eyes lifted to mine. Tired, red, defeated. Do you still believe that? I walked closer. I wouldn't be here if I didn't. She laughed weakly. You should hate me. I tried, I said. Didn't work, her gaze softened. You really are too kind for your own good. I remembered those same words from years ago. Back when she was just a patient, not a CEO, not a storm that tore through my life. Don't, I whispered. Don't say that. Why? She asked. It's true. You were the only one who ever looked at me like I was human. Her voice cracked on the last word. Arya. She shook her head. Don't pity me. I don't deserve that. I'm not pitying you, I said. I'm still trying to fix me? She interrupted. You can't. No one can. I leaned against the desk, unsure if I wanted to comfort her or scream. You let them break you. I let them own me, she corrected. And now I'm paying for it. Her hands trembled as she reached for a folder. Do you know what's in here? My entire empire, gone. Everything I built to prove I didn't need you. All lies. I stayed silent. She looked up. Say something. I met her eyes. What do you want me to say? That you hate me, she whispered. I don't, I said. I just don't recognize you anymore. Her lips parted, but no sound came. Just tears. The rain hammered harder against the windows. She looked like she might collapse, but I didn't move closer this time. I lost everything, she murmured. And somehow losing you still hurts more. My chest ached. You'll get through it. Don't say that, she said sharply. Don't give me hope. I don't deserve it. I turned toward the door. Goodbye, Arya. Her voice cracked behind me. Ethan, please. Don't leave me like this. I paused, hand on the handle. My reflection in the glass looked tired, hollow, just like hers. She whispered, You were the only one who ever looked at me like I was human. I wanted to answer. To tell her I still saw her that way. But the words caught in my throat, so I didn't reply. I just walked out. The rain met me outside, cold and relentless, washing the city clean, or maybe just pretending to. Behind me, her empire was crumbling. Ahead of me, nothing waited, but for the first time, I didn't look back. It was a quiet morning, too quiet, the kind that made you uneasy for no reason. I was locking up the clinic when Sophie appeared at the door, soaked from the rain, clutching something to her chest. Ethan, she said softly, I've been looking for you. Sophie? I blinked. You worked for Arya, right? She nodded and held out an envelope. She told me to give you this. When the time was right. What is it? Her eyes shimmered. Just read it. The paper felt heavy in my hands. Arya's handwriting, elegant and sharp, stared back at me. I unfolded it slowly. If you're reading this, I guess I ran out of time. His name is Liam. He has your eyes. A photograph slipped out and landed on the floor. A baby. Dark hair, round cheeks, familiar eyes staring straight into mine. My chest tightened. No, I whispered. This can't be... Sophie's voice shook. He's your son, Ethan. My knees buckled. I sat down hard on the bench. She had a baby? Our baby? Yes, and she never told me. She wanted to, Sophie said, but she thought you'd hate her for keeping it from you. She said she didn't deserve you. Or him. I pressed my palms to my face, breath shuddering. She kept my child a secret. For years? Sophie hesitated. Not years, months. Liam's only 6 months old. My voice cracked. Where is she? In the hospital, she whispered. She's not doing well. She collapsed last night. My heart stopped. Which hospital? The elevator felt like a coffin. Each floor dragged eternity with it. When I finally stepped into her room, the smell of antiseptic hit me. The same as 3 years ago. The same way I first met her, Arya lay there, pale, wires running from her arms, breathing shallow but steady. I stood frozen in the doorway, her eyes fluttered open. Ethan? I swallowed hard. Yeah, it's me, she smiled faintly. You found out. You should have told me, I said, voice trembling. I wanted to, she whispered. But I was afraid. Afraid of what? That you'd look at me with hate instead of love. I stepped closer. You really thought I'd hate you? For this? She looked away. I ruined everything. I lied, I disappeared. And then, I found out about him. I clenched my fists. You kept my son from me. I was going to tell you, she said, tears spilling down her cheeks. I wanted you to meet him when I could stand beside you again. Not from a hospital bed. Damn it, Arya, I whispered, gripping the bed rail. You don't have to prove anything anymore. Her fingers brushed mine weakly. I wanted you to see me strong again. Not broken. You were never broken, I said. You were surviving, she smiled faintly. You always say the right thing. I shook my head. Not this time. I should have come sooner. I should have... Stop, she said softly. You did enough. More than anyone ever did for me. I sat down beside her, my voice cracking. Tell me about him. Her eyes brightened a little. He laughs when he's sleepy. He hates blankets but loves music. He looks at the world like it's all new. I felt something in my chest crumble. He's mine, I whispered. Ours, she corrected. I met her eyes. I want to see him. You will, she said. Soon. Don't say it like that, I said quickly. You're going to get better, she smiled weakly. You still believe in miracles. I believe in you, I said. Her voice trembled. Ethan, I'm sorry for everything. Don't, I said, shaking my head. We've both made mistakes, she exhaled shakily. When you see Liam, tell him. I tried. No, I said fiercely. You tell him yourself. Her eyes glistened. You always were stubborn. Because you gave me a reason to be. The monitor beeped steadily, too steady, too calm. She squeezed my hand gently. Ethan? Yeah? Thank you. For finding me again. I swallowed hard. Don't thank me yet. Her eyes fluttered closed. A faint smile on her lips. I sat there holding her hand. The letter still in my pocket, the words that changed everything. Outside the window, the rain had stopped, sunlight slipping through the glass. And for the first time in years, I prayed. Not for revenge, not for justice, just for one more tomorrow. The room hummed with the slow rhythm of machines. I hadn't left her side since last night. Every breath she took felt borrowed, fragile. Still here? She whispered, voice barely audible. Where else would I go? I said, forcing a smile. Her lips curved faintly. You always were stubborn. Someone had to be, I murmured. You kept testing me. She laughed weakly, the sound breaking halfway. You never gave up, even when I pushed you away. I didn't know how, I said. You made it impossible. She turned her head toward me, eyes soft. Do you hate me, Ethan? I swallowed hard. No, I tried to, but it never worked. Her fingers twitched against mine. I thought walking away would protect you. From what? From me, she said. From my father, from the chaos I created. You deserved peace, I shook my head. Peace means nothing without you in it. Tears welled in her eyes. You always say the things I'm too afraid to believe. Then believe them now, I said quietly. She exhaled slowly. Do you remember the first day I tried to walk again? Yeah, I whispered. You cursed me out for an hour. Her smile returned, faint but real. You told me pain meant progress. I wanted to throw the crutch at you. I ducked, I said, grinning weakly. You missed. Her laughter faded, replaced by silence that stretched too long. "Arya," I said softly, "don't close your eyes yet." "I'm just tired," she whispered. "I've been fighting so long, Ethan. First for my legs, then for my company, then for us, then rest," I said. "But not like this." She squeezed my hand weakly. "You have to let me go." "No," I said instantly. "Not again." "You have Liam now," she murmured. "He needs you strong." I bit down hard on the ache in my throat. "He needs his mother." Her gaze drifted toward the window. "He'll know me through you. You'll tell him stories, won't you?" "I'll tell him everything," I said, my voice breaking. How his mom fought like hell. How she never gave up, her eyes shimmered. "Promise me he'll grow up kind." "I promise," I said. She closed her eyes for a moment, breathing shallow. "You taught me how to stand, Ethan." I leaned closer, gripping her hand tighter. "And you taught me how to love." Her lips curved into the faintest smile. "Then I guess we're even." "Not even close," I whispered. Her voice dropped to a fragile whisper. "Now it's your turn to walk forward." I shook my head. "Don't talk like that. Promise me," she said again. "Walk forward." "I can't." "Yes, you can." Her eyes met mine, fierce even through the pain. "For Liam, for both of us." My throat burned. "I don't know how." "You'll learn," she whispered. "You always do." The monitor beeped softly between us, each sound cutting deeper than words. "I love you," I said, my voice trembling. She smiled faintly. "I know." When morning came, the light through the window painted her face in gold. For a moment, she looked peaceful. Then I noticed the silence. No beeping, no breath. "Just stillness, Arya," I whispered, shaking her hand gently. "Hey, wake up." "Nothing." I pressed my forehead against her palm. It was cold now. The warmth that once pulled me back from darkness was gone. "Damn it," I whispered. "You promised me one more day." The nurse came in quietly, her eyes soft. She handed me a folder. "She asked me to give you this." Inside was a single sheet of paper, signed and stamped. "Custody of Liam Winters transferred to Ethan Cole." My vision blurred. My hand shook as I traced her signature. "She thought of everything," I muttered. The nurse nodded. "She wanted you to know she never stopped loving you." I sat there for hours, holding her hand, her letter, the life she'd left behind. People talk about grief like it's a storm. They're wrong. It's the silence afterward that kills you, the stillness where their voice should be. I looked down at her one last time. "You did it, Arya," I whispered. "You finally stood tall." I kissed her forehead gently and stood. Outside, the world moved on. Cars, voices, sunlight. I walked forward, just like she told me to, for her, for Liam, for the life she taught me to fight for.